Hello and welcome back to my channel. Um, where are we going to start? Before I even start, I want to clarify something. This video is not to shame someone, the person in question, or in any way to send hate towards her. Um, it's clearly just stating the facts and my opinion, okay? So today's video is about a current nomination I saw on Instagram. The nomination is called Pan-African Awards for Best Influencer, and apparently it's in the final rounds, and three people are nominated. One is a lady from Kenya. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to mispronounce it. But I'm going to tag her in the comment section below or in the description box. And then another person is nominated, and that is the ambassador of France to Ghana. And that's the whole context or the whole content of the video. Um, I don't know her personally, of course, so I'm not here to judge her personality, her character, or whatever. I am solely here because I can, right? I can. It's freedom of speech. So I'm expressing exactly that. Um, when I first saw the nomination, I was furious. When I then thought about it, I was still furious, and now I'm still furious. I'm not that furious. I'm angry, actually. I'm angry because this is the definition of white saviorism. It's the definition of white privilege. Um, I'm not here to call out the people that nominated her. I am judging from my opinion as a white woman. She should have never accepted this nomination. If she truly cared for the influence for Africans, for Africa, and the true history of the motherland, she would have never accepted that nomination. Um, I mean, it's not a secret that France is one of the biggest colonizers in Africa, one of the biggest neo-colonizers in Africa. France still collects billions of euros in post-colonial taxes every single year. France is only France, and the standard in France is because of colonization, because of slavery, and the standard of France can be upkept by continuously exploiting the motherland. That's not a secret, and that's an undeniable fact. If you are denying that, you simply deny the truth. So I'm not even debating on that. The same thing applies to every other European country, applies to the US, it applies to every Western country in general. So it's just France because France is the country in question. It could be Germany, it could be the UK, it could be Belgium, it doesn't matter, it will still be wrong. The woman, Miss Ave, I don't speak French, so I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name wrongly. If that's the case, I'm sorry. Um, she is one of the nominees for Pan-African Awards of Best Influence. So the description of the award says for people that use their digital influence or whatever for in their communities across the continent, Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism. How can a non-African get an award for Pan-Africanism? How can a non-African get an award, anything Pan-African related? So I am not quite sure if she's the right person, but I'm certain she is. And there was some tweets going around Instagram, Twitter, not too long ago, where homophobia was a big problem, and she was in one way or the other participating in. However, she tweeted something, or she agreed on homophobic tweets. I'm not quite sure, because just of recent there was the problem about the queer community in Ghana was that 21 queer people were arrested, and a bill was passed. I'm not into the picture entirely because I read about it, but I wasn't. I can't really remember the full details. So, as the ambassador of France in Ghana, she somehow tweeted about it, and that's the first time I saw her profile. Um, So, as an African, as an ambassador to an African country, you should care about all Africans. If you can't care about all Africans, you care for nobody. And meaning that you also care for queer Africans. Queer people's rights are human rights. That's non-debatable. That's non-negotiable. So that alone gave me kind of bad vibes. But I didn't really read into it the more. So when I opened her profile because when I saw the nomination picture, I saw her in the middle, and I was like, that's a white woman. So I researched her name, and I came on her Instagram profile, and the first thing I'm seeing is the famous quote, I am not African because I am born in Africa. I am African because Africa is born in me. First of all, madam, you're not African, okay? You're not African just because you work for your colonizer on the continent of Africa. That's not what it means to be African. I don't know the concepts and the obsession of Africa among white people only when it benefits y'all, because it's kind of it's disgusting. You are the representative of the second biggest colonizer. I don't know who had more colonies, France or the UK, but they are all in the same pot. So colonizer is colonizer. So you being the representative, the ambassador of a colonizer in Ghana, and then contesting for Ghana as a Pan-African influencer is disgusting on so many levels. It's wrong on so many levels. White saviorism is a very big problem. It's a very big problem because it doesn't do no good. And don't even get me started on all this charity bullshit and all this expat bullshit and all this missionary work bullshit. The money y'all invest in sending crackers all the way from Europe or from the UK or from the US to Africa doing missionary work or charity work, use that money and give it to the people directly instead of paying them hella salaries that these people have zero qualifications. Just that she's an ambassador doesn't mean she's a Pan-Africanist. She is still a white woman. She is still French. She is still not an African just because she works in Africa. At the same time, France has a very big racism problem, a very big Islamophobia problem. So don't be measuring with two standards here. France isn't the civilized country we claim it is, just like Germany isn't. No European country is civilized, because if we were civilized, racism wouldn't be an issue here anymore. Because racism is literally the definition of a human being not being civilized. Because if we look at the word civilization, it implies some kind of knowledge, right? And some kind of, well, moral standards. I don't even know if my own definition of civilization should be kind of different. But if I look at civilization, I think of some type of educated, knowledgeable societies, right? We are not that. White people are not that. We are not educated and we are not civilized. Because if we were, we would have thrown the system over 10 times already. But we didn't. We hold onto that system with our dear lives because it gives us privileges, just like this woman is getting privileges as contesting for an Pan African award as a non African. And if you're offended by this video, I want you all to answer me just one question. How many Africans that don't permanently live in Europe, are only here for work, have you all seen contesting for European contests? And do you really think that these people will be given a chance to be nominated for any type of work in Europe that is similar to this kind of ambassador work white people are doing in Africa? Because ambassador work of Black people or African countries in Europe is quite different than ambassador work of white people in African countries, because Black people are not being treated the way white people are being treated in Africa, in Europe, right? Okay, Black people in Europe don't get treated the way white people get treated in Africa. So there is no equality and there is no equity and there is no equal chances. So don't compare Black or African leaders or ambassadors in Europe with white ambassadors in Africa. These are two different topics that have literally nothing to do with each other. So the benefits an ambassador gets in Africa are ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anybody that works as an expert that comes to Africa reaps a shitload of benefits that they do not deserve just because of whiteness. That's not debatable. There is nothing to argue. White privilege is what made this woman contest in a Pan African award. And white privilege is which allowed her to carry her nose up high and even accept a nomination she doesn't deserve. She didn't do nothing for it, and she will never be able to even keep up. There are people nominated that do real educational work, tell the true story of Africa and the true history of Africa. A white woman has no space in this room, in the room of African history and of Pan Africanism. A white woman has no space in that room. And if that woman would really care for the well being of Africa, for the changes, for the true history of Africans and Africa, she would have never accepted this nomination. So the whole purpose of this video is actually that if I was, if I had a say in this, I would demand her. I actually did demand her. I wrote her a comment on Instagram, but I guess she's going to ignore it the way always white people always ignore criticism in whatever way. That's what we do best. We always like praises, but we don't like criticism. So I wish that she will withdraw her nomination and that she will use her white privilege to educate people generally why she does not deserve this award. She doesn't. Even if she does work in Ghana, she does that because she was sent to Ghana by the colonizer of France. She doesn't do this because she's such a good, kind hearted human being that likes to give up her life for the betterment of whoever. She does that because it fits into white saviorism, it fits into her own ego, and it fits into white privilege. All these things combined makes her be able to contest for a Pan-African award she should never be contesting for. She should never have been nominated for, ever. There are thousands, millions of Africans that do real work and that deserve to be nominated and deserve to be given an award like this, not a white woman. This should never be right. And I don't care who she is personally. She might be a kind person, you know, she might be a nice person. I'm not even debating that. But the moment you make use of your white privilege in such a negative way, um, your nice that outweighs your niceness, that outweighs your kindness, because kindness also means continuously reflecting on yourself, questioning yourself, question your own education, your upbringing, your socializing, the way you were raised and the way you're thriving in society today. And nobody in on planet Earth can tell me that this woman doesn't know that she reaps white privilege. She knows. Every white person knows that. Because as soon as you come out of the plane and step foot on African soil, you notice that you reap white privilege. And no, Africans are not to blame. It is still a problem of the white man because we enforced white as the beauty standard and we uphold white as the beauty standard. So until white people don't end the system we created, this will keep repeating itself. And I expect every single white person, and especially white people in power, like an ambassador, to not contest for things that were meant for Africans and are supposed to be for Africans only. I expect us to step the fuck back and stop behaving like we own the fucking world. Because we don't. We were the last ethnicity to develop from the black woman. We have no fucking right to enter black spaces at any given time. And on top of that, collect awards, Pan-African awards that we don't deserve. It makes me furious. It is so simple. This award is not going to make nor break you. It is not going to make nor break you. It's not going to pay your bills. It's not going to make you a millionaire tomorrow. It's a moral standard that I expect every white person to have. Step down and reject that nomination. Decline it. Tell people that you don't deserve it because one, you're not African. Secondly, you are the representative of a colonizer. How can a country go to Africa, colonize different types of countries, enslave the people, still be collecting money after that, and then you go to a country that won, Ghana and France? Ghana wasn't colonized by France. You go to Ghana and you fully exercise your white privilege, and then you still portray yourself as the good one, because here and there, maybe you might be doing some community work, feeding people here or feeding people there. Even at that, no white person would be needed for charity work in Africa if white people didn't fuck up Africa first. How can we be invading an entire continent, colonize an entire continent, enslave millions and millions of people during 600 years, maybe 400 years of colonization, and then another 200 years ongoing neo-colonization? Because independence in itself, the way independence happened, was it not historically seen just yesterday? And everything that happened after independence is neo-colonization. So we didn't just colonize and invade Africa, we also neo-colonized and re-invaded Africa by sending people like this to represent colonizers. So we now invaded an entire continent, and then we were kind enough to give you independence that shackles you onto our own laws. Our own educational system keeps portraying Africans as the bad and uncivilized and poor people that need help from Africa, from Europe or from the US or from wherever. And then on top of that, collect awards for helping a help that would have never been necessary if we wouldn't have been invaders, kidnappers, killers, murderers, colonizers, slave masters, name it. Charity work would never be necessary if we didn't exploit and continue to exploit Africa after colonizing it. So even charity work is not charity work because we don't do good deeds. We feed into white saviorism. I expect, if if you see this, I expect you to step down and decline that nomination and explain why, as a non-African, you don't deserve to hold a Pan-African award. But you anyway not win because you don't deserve it. So that being said, thanks for watching.